Welcome to 180 this week. I'm Jaden.
And I'm Jeff.
And this week we're talking about Jonah. Last week we talked about Peter walking on the water, and this week we're talking about Jonah and the whale.
There once was a man named Jonah. He was a prophet, which means that God spoke to him and he would pass on the message for God. Jonah was told by God to go to a place called Nineveh. God said, "Go to the great city of Nineveh and preach against it, because its wickedness has come up before me." This place was rotten. They were known to be very dangerous people, and Jonah really didn't want to go there. He was scared to death.
So Jonah decided to run in the opposite direction. He decided to get on a boat and sail away from Nineveh and go as far as he could get. While he was on a boat, a massive storm hit, and he and everybody on the ship thought they would die.
He realized this was God showing him the mistake he had made, and he told the crew to throw him overboard to save their lives. After Jonah was thrown into the sea, he was swallowed by a huge fish. The storm immediately stopped. Jonah spent 3 days in that fish. It would have been real nasty in there. It smelled like rotten fish and fish dookie.
While he was there, he called out to God and apologized for disobeying him. He promised to go and do what God had asked him to do in the beginning, even though he was scared. The fish spit him out on the shore, and he went off to Nineveh. He went there and met with the king. The king believed the good news from God that Jonah brought with him, and the evil place turned good because the king sent out a statement that said, "Everybody stop being so evil." Jonah was scared. He knew that he should obey God, but he thought that ignoring him and running away was easier, or at least a little bit more fun. But Jonah was only lying to himself. Even if it seemed like doing the wrong thing led to life being easier, eventually when we do something wrong, it always comes back and gets us.
Jonah ended up in a terrifying place, literally being eaten by a giant fish. God kept him alive during that time miraculously, and he was able to get a second chance. Maybe you feel like you need a second chance after the mistakes that you've made. Jesus offers us forgiveness for the mistakes we've all done. All we need to do is ask, and he offers us a fresh start. Or maybe you're not that far along in a mistake. You know you're on the wrong path, and you know you need to correct it. Maybe you're like Jonah on his way to the boat, and you still have a chance to turn around and do the right thing.
Whether you feel like you're a screw-up or just know you've made some mistakes, it's never a bad time to turn to Jesus. When Jonah finally obeyed and went to Nineveh, the whole place was changed for the better because he listened to God. There, just like Jonah, there is no limit to what you can do if you put your faith in God. If you have any questions about this or want to know more about living a Jesus-based life, feel free to ask one of our leaders here at 180.
Or you can DM us your questions on Instagram.
Have a good week, guys.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. So lame.